This game put the devil in me.
Won't you spare me over till another year?
The devil in me is the fourth Dark Pictures Anthology game, and the series won a finale to Supermassive Games gaming series. And released the exact same year as another Supermassive game hit, The Quarry, which is my favourite game of 2022. And a special thanks to my best Buzz and pal at iQuarter 5, also known as Stephen Mead, for very kindly giving me this game as a Christmas present 3 years ago. As without him, I would never have played this game. So, The Devil in Me tells the story of a group of documentary filmmakers. Kate, Erin, Jamie, Mark, and Charlie are invited to a mysterious home, which is a replica of the old hotel of H.H. Holmes, America's first serial killer. They are invited there by the mysterious Doom Upser, who turns out to be a twisted murderer who has them all in his trap. Let's just say, so it becomes a the deadliest game of cat and mouse as our heroes must get the fuck out of that old hotel before Dumont can have their blood. I just realised, of all the Dark Pictures Anthology games, The Devil in Me is the one I have still yet to review. So this review is pretty damn late, 3 years late, but I'm finally getting to it as the Until Dawn movie is releasing in a matter of weeks now. So it only makes sense to review more games from the studio that made Until Dawn, even though my hype for the Until Dawn movie has dramatically decreased after the uh, shitty marketing for that movie. But yeah, as for the Dark Pictures Anthology series, many will agree that it doesn't uh, top Until Dawn by any means, as the games feel more rushed out in comparison to Supermassive Games. Well, two signature games, The Quarry and Until Dawn, which they spent longer on and put more time into, whereas these games released just a year apart, literally. So that is an awful lot of pressure on Supermassive Games to release, well, 4 games in just 3 years. I have no idea how they achieved that, but and the Devil in Me is rated as one of the better ones in this series. As well, one guy who I follow, he also has movie reviewing and game review content on his channel, and he shares the exact same thoughts as me on The Devil in Me, that this game is, well, in the middle of the series. I would put it above Little Hope, which is hands down the weakest decision-based game I've ever played in my life. And though House of Ashes is still the magnum opus of the Dark Pictures Anthology series, and I would even put Man of Medan just a tad above a Devil in Me. I because I still think Man of Medan is uh, uh, is so underrated. But yeah, even though yeah, this gamer did have to compete with the Quarry in the exact same year, it was inevitably going to live in the Quarry's shadow. But Devil in Me is still good. I mean, far from great, but this is easily the most disturbing of the Dark Pictures horror game series. So as a horror game, it does excel, but as a game, it certainly has its errors, and some levels of that do well test your brain. So yeah, let's uh, dive right delve right into what works in this game. Well, for instance, I do uh, overall. I think the five playable characters are fairly likable, and we have three females and two males, and Erin is my particular favorite as she is the most naive and most innocent. So she's kind of like, well, the Ashley from Until Dawn and Abby from The Quarry, and you do feel like she's the most vulnerable because she's got an inhaler. So with her breathing problems, there's one level where you need to pick to either save Aaron or Case, and you always need to pick a save Aaron if you want the best ending of that level, because Aaron will die if you pick save Kate. You can still save Kate if you get Aaron out of there, and uh, and and her love story with Jamie uh, is incredibly sweet. It's lovely to see another LGBT love story in a mainstream game after Ellie and Dina in Last of Us Part Two, and yeah, Jamie, she's like, well, she wears Matt's outfit from Until Dawn, so you could mistake her for Matt's sister, and she's played by Fliss's actress from Man at Medan. So yeah, the Dark Pictures Anthology games do reuse some of the same actors, which can uh, uh, which can admittedly feel repetitive, seeing the exact same guys over and over. But it's not they don't. But it's not all the same cast. There are new faces, particularly with Kate, and she's at the front and center on the poster, and yeah, she is one tough cookie and a real fighter to say the least, and she does have a somewhat of a rivalry with Jamie to begin with, but depending on your decisions, you can get their relationship to go immensely up, and the free group of girls that do get a segment where they are escaping Dumond, and they do certainly outwit him, and Mark is the best male character in the game. He's like Kate's boyfriend, if you will, and Mark even he gets to have some levels on his own, so he can prove to be rather independent, and he even uh, gets a adorable bond with dog, which is on the island that Dumas invited them to. Yeah, I, I, if I were that group, I would have adopted that dog, and Charlie may be my least favorite character in the game, but he still works for comedy. How his obsession with cigarettes. Oh, come on, I just want a packet of smokes. He's also the first British character in a supermassive game. Well, unless you count the creator, of course, and this is the last appearance of the creator in Dark Pictures Anthology Season 1. So we may be getting a brand new creator in Season 2. And Dumas as the villain. Uh, Damn, he is one absolutely ruthless, uh, monster. And I mean, I can't believe how messed up and how disturbing he is. Like he wants to be the modern H. Holmes, and he's literally H. Holmes reincarnated, and he you can see that he worships H. Holmes and wants to kill exactly like the first American serial killer did, which and we never see his face and never hear him talk, which makes him all the more unsettling. And the fact that it's a human who our heroes have to battle, and our hero that's doing the killings, that's what's even more unnerving and terrifying, because that a human serial killer is more disturbing than any fantasy monster like the Wendigos or the Manchurian Gold Illuminations or the alien vampires and uh, the uh, the hotel itself that Dumont inhabits. So well, there's a whole maze to explore. Like particularly at night, it gets atmospheric, and you'll all the hotel doors you have to walk through, and to Dumont's disturbing killer lair, and even the forest on the outskirts of the hotel on the island do look rather autumnal, making this game well ideal to play for a Halloween get together. And Rocco death theme in the opening credits still gives me uh, absolute goosebumps every time. So I would love that to play again in the opening credits for Dark Pictures Anthology Season 2. And uh, though, let's get to what doesn't work so well about the game. Uh, this, I mean, there is nothing wrong with the game's runtime. This is the longest of season one Dark Pictures Anthology. It's 6 hours. They're just getting an hour longer progressively with each game, and so and the second half of the game is certainly where the darker shit goes down. Though there are there are some levels that I do think will overstay their welcome, and some puzzles are like the circuits that were frustrating to figure out and did hurt my brain. Damn, some of the circuits were so complicated. I needed to type them up on YouTube just to figure out how to work them out. And the opening prologue is an instant step downer from the Quarry's opening prologue. In the Quarry, our two playable characters don't have an inevitable death. You can save them, but that sadly isn't the case with the opening prologue of Devil in Me. In the opening prologue of Devil in Me, they just go back to basics. They're the two characters that you play as, their deaths are inevitable, and there's no saving them from H. Holmes in the opening prologue. Like, and that and the girl, she looked exactly like Ariel. No, no, sorry, Julia from Man of Medan. I was like, why can I not save her? This is so cruel. And even that level where the girls go through the maze and they need to figure out where the lever is to turn on the power to get to escape the maze before Dumont can get them. I mean, it's it is well uh, that really confused me to begin with. I was stuck on that level for some time, and yeah, and that don't move thing. Well, that's it's still a here. Like it was in the previous games, and it's still a pain in the ass if you get one of them wrong, then your character could be doomed. And yes, so the climactic final showdown between our heroes and Dumont is well thrilling on the speedboats, and yeah, Dumont does get well one violent villain death with when he gets sucked into the boat's propeller, but to get to that, so the penultimate level does feel tedious. With they spent too long with Mark walking through the forest and walking through these warehouses just to drag out the game's runtime. So yeah, I do feel that yeah that the pacing of the game in places certainly could have cut to the chase faster, uh, but overall, the devil in me, it's a decent uh, finale to season one of Dark Pictures Anthology, and I mean, as a horror game, it did it did get me going. So it did its a job uh, in the horror department.
I give The Devil in Me 3 stars out of 5. Good game.
So yeah, that's all the Dark Pictures Anthology games for now, at least, are all reviewed. That's season one done. On to season two, beginning with a Directive 8020 releasing later this year. Boy, we wasted a good 3 years for the following installment. Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. What are your thoughts on The Devil in Me? And is it your favourite Dark Pictures Anthology game or not? So please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow on Twitter and on Instagram. And I'll see you next time. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.